All right, let's dive into a wild story from the ancient epic, the Mahabharata. We're talking about a king, a really bad decision, and a deadly curse. But what's hiding in this old tale is a pretty shocking lesson about what justice really is and what holds a society together.
We are jumping right into the deep end here. A curse has been thrown down, and a king is now sentenced to die from a snake bite in just 1 week. I mean, that is some serious high-stakes drama. So what on earth could a king possibly have done to get a holy man this angry?
And that's the big question we're going to try and figure out together. Because this isn't just a simple revenge story. It's actually a philosophical puzzle. It makes you think about that fuzzy line between defending your own honor and doing what's right for everyone else. So, was this justice, plain and simple? Or was it a massive, catastrophic mistake?
Okay, so let's rewind. How did we even get to a death curse? Well, it all kicks off with one really bad day in the middle of a forest.
So, picture this. King Parikshit is out hunting. He's exhausted, he's hungry, he's frustrated, and he stumbles across this sage. He asks the guy for some help, but gets nothing. Just total silence. The king feels ignored, disrespected, and in a flash of anger, he just snaps. He sees a dead snake on the ground, picks it up, drapes it over the sage's shoulders, and just storms off. But here's the kicker. The piece of information the king was totally missing. The sage wasn't being a jerk. He was in dhyana. That's like a super deep state of meditation. And on top of that, he'd taken a Mahabharata, a vow of complete silence. He literally could not answer. So the king's insult? It was all based on a huge misunderstanding. The king leaves, probably thinking that's the end of it. But it's not. Not by a long shot. Someone saw what he did, and that news travels, and it travels straight to the sage's son, Sringin, who happens to be powerful and has a really short fuse. Sringin doesn't wait for details. He doesn't ask questions. All he hears is that a king disrespected his father, and he just sees red. He is completely overcome with rage, and in that moment he grabs some holy water and unleashes that terrifying curse we heard at the beginning. King Parikshit will die by snakebite. To Sringin, this isn't an overreaction. It's justice, served hot and fast. So Sringin, feeling pretty proud of himself, rushes to his father to tell him the good news. "Hey, Dad, I defended our family honor. I cursed the king." He is totally expecting a pat on the back, but what he gets is something else entirely.
Yeah, instead of praise, his father is, well, he's horrified. He immediately tells his son off, not even for the curse itself, but for the anger behind it. And this is where the whole story just flips on its head. The guy who is actually insulted isn't mad at all. In fact, he's about to explain why his son's idea of justice was a huge, huge mistake.
And this right here, this is the heart of the whole thing. For Sringin, it's simple. Justice is personal. You insult my dad, you get punished. End of story. But for his father, justice is something much, much bigger. It's about keeping society from falling apart. He sees that the king, even with his flaws, is the one who protects their entire way of life. His little lapse in judgment should have been forgiven, because his role is just too darn important.
Then the father drops this incredibly heavy line. He talks about dharma. Now, dharma is a big idea, but think of it as the right way of living, the natural order of the universe. The sage is telling his son, you acted out of personal anger, and by doing that, you broke a fundamental rule. And when you break dharma, eventually, it breaks you right back.
So you've got to be asking, why? Why is this one king so vital? Why would a sage defend the very guy who just threw a dead snake on him? Well, his answer shows you just how crucial he believes a stable government is.
The whole argument really hinges on this idea of swadharma. It basically means your own personal duty or your purpose in life. The sage's purpose is to meditate. A farmer's purpose is to grow food. But the father's point is that nobody can do their job if there's chaos all around. And the only one who provides that peace and stability is the king.
So look, the king is the linchpin holding the whole society together. He's the one who punishes bad guys, which creates the peace everyone needs to live their lives. He protects religious ceremonies, which keeps the gods happy and the rain's coming. The father is saying that, in a very real way, the king is the one who makes it possible for dharma to even exist on earth. Without him, it's just anarchy.
And to really hammer the point home, the sage quotes this ancient authority, Manu, who says that one single king is as important to society as 10 of the most learned holy men combined. Now that is a wild claim. It basically puts the job of the ruler, the person who maintains order, on the highest possible pedestal. Because without that order, nothing else, not spirituality, not business, nothing is even possible.
And that's really what this ancient story leaves us with. It's a question that's just as relevant now as it was then. When we feel like someone's wronged us, when our first instinct is to lash out and get revenge, how do we learn to just pause? How do we balance that fire of personal anger with our responsibility to the bigger picture, to our communities? It's a powerful lesson in taking a step back and seeing what really matters.